let's bring in former senior advisor to the Clinton Stagwell chairman and CEO and the Harris Poll chairman, Mark Penn. Mark, good morning. And your reaction to what Hillary just reported from Capitol Hill.
I can't say I've ever seen anything like this. I ultimately think so far that Biden will survive as the nominee simply because of the chaos that would result if he's not the nominee at this point in the nominating process, and also that he seems to be holding the top leadership of the party, while some of those farther down, I think, are jumping ship. So that's where I think this is coming out for now, though I've never seen a party eat itself, in this manner, obviously afraid of a deluge for Donald Trump, given the performance of the debate.
Mark, how can Biden hang in there now after that debate when it was for the world to see the state that he is in, his cognitive, his physical state, and then also the fact that you have Vice President Harris, who is 59 years old, who apparently is now, you're seeing more and more glowing articles. Here you go, the Wall Street Journal. Is this Kamala Harris's moment? The vice president is vigorously defending Biden, but many Democrats say that she is the backup plan. And I will add this from a political side and a money side, is that if you've got $240 million in campaign cash that is sitting there that's been raised, that she's on the ticket because they filed with the Federal Election Commission, so she gets the money. And many are saying that this is the only way that they can save. You're right, they're eating themselves up, but save themselves.
Well, look, I think most likely she would be the nominee if Joe Biden bows out. But is Joe Biden bowing out? He said pretty clearly no. He said, I'm the nominee, I'm the president, I've had lots of accomplishments, I'm the one to beat Donald Trump. And not only that, I got the delegates. So if it ain't God taking me out, I'm here. So that was a pretty strong challenge to the rest of the party, saying that he is going to stay in basically no matter what. Now, Americans are always incredibly definite until they change their mind. Maybe that will be the case, but 75-25, he's not going anywhere.
And we did see on Friday night a defiant Joe Biden that seems to have no either cognition or doesn't care about the storm of people that are asking him to step down because they say he's not fit to even be president now. Donors, though, are starting to defect after that debate. Los Angeles developer, former L.A. mayor candidate Rick Caruso, he said over the weekend he's going to pause efforts for Biden's reelection campaign until he gets more clarity. And he co-hosted a multi-million-dollar fundraiser for Biden back in December. And the Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings, Disney heiress Abigail Disney, they say they plan to halt support for the Democratic Party in general until there's a new nominee. Mark, I'm the money person, but correct me if I'm wrong, when the money walks, isn't that when you've got real trouble?
Well, of course this is real trouble. I mean, there's no question about it. Look, my poll showed him going down 4 points in job approval. 74% say that they don't think he could serve another term. This is the definition of real trouble. But every campaign I've ever been in, even when it won, had, quote, real trouble. Who thought Donald Trump could possibly survive the access tape? Politicians who stick in there most of the time survive. Of course it's real trouble. Of course it's a split Democratic Party. And of course, by the end of the week, this may flip around. But as of now, he's laid down the gauntlet. He's not moving. His family's 100% behind him. He's going to try to push this through.
You think he can win, Mark? You think Joe Biden can win if he stays on the ticket?
Well, that also depends on the other side. Donald Trump has shrewdly, basically during most of this time, he's been under the radar, letting the Democratic Party fight this out and see who the nominee is. Until there's an engaged race. It's not as though these polls are showing 15 or 17 points. When I worked for Clinton against Dole, a lot of the polls showed 15-point leads. So for whatever reason, despite 74% saying he can't finish out another term, this is still a single-digit race in every single poll, and that means it's not over yet, 100%.
Well, if you listen to President Biden on Friday night, he basically laughed off the polls, laughed. Mark Penn, well, a big week ahead. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And I wouldn't laugh off the polls. He is behind, but it's not over yet.
Yeah. Well, he was defiant. All right, Mark, thank you very much.